So let's do this. Let's do this. I'm not trying to make anybody upset. I'm not trying to offend nobody or anything. But with this whole Jay Z thing, we get mad at him because he has partnered with the NFL to try to bring some awareness to social justice and things in general. He also is supposed to become a part owner of a team. So the black community is all up in arms about he's a sellout and this and that. And because of Kaepernick doesn't have a job. Kaepernick settled out with the NFL under some undisclosed terms that we know nothing about. Whether it's to compensate him for not working or to keep his mouth shut about it, but this is what he's done. So when Jay Z says, "Oh, I think we're past kneeling," people act like that's an attack on what Kaepernick did. It's the same thing when Kaepernick and everybody was kneeling, and then Donald Trump came along and said that, "Oh," and people came along, "You're disrespecting the flag." It's just two different things. And who you get mad at a man who's trying to make a difference. So if he owns, we know there's no black owners in the NFL. So he's making an attempt to become a black owner. People talk shit about Martin Luther King, about Jackie Robinson, about them integrating. And then this whole thing with black people thinking that we should do our own thing. That's fine, we should. Maybe we should. But we're going to do that in this country. We've already have had examples of what would happen if we decide to just get our own communities. And it's not that because all white people are bad, but we know our government is fucking corrupt. Just like they did COINTELPRO on the Black Panthers, like they fucking burnt down Black Wall Street. So if black people, we're gonna do some shit. We need to get the fuck out of this country. And nothing in this country works without us working together with Caucasian people who are in agreement with us. And this whole thing with black and white is the dumbest shit in history anyways. I mean, we think so much in black and white as human beings, and we are taught that, especially in this country. And all that shit does is create separation. I don't know how many times I have to say this over and over again. If you can get a fucking transfusion from a Caucasian person, what is that telling you? But you want to stand on this whole black and white issue. The civil rights movement did not work. It didn't work and wouldn't have worked if there wasn't all the Caucasian people marching up and down the street and standing in protest. They blew President Kennedy brains out because he was for equality. And he had sat down with a bunch of entertainers and said, this is what we need to do. And he realized what the whole racism thing, and they killed that man. So what is that telling you with that? They killed Martin Luther King because he was talking about, towards the end that we should get our own stuff, and we should. But the biggest problem I have with this whole NFL thing, you all trying to get mad at Jay-Z. Who you should be mad at is the fucking players who continue to play. Because if they really want to change, they would stop playing. And if you stop playing, you force the NFL, the NBA, whoever else to compromise and understand your plight and to do what you're asking them to do. But you're not. And then the crazy thing about you motherfuckers are still watching football. I watched 2 football games last year. One because it was on my birthday and I went to a bar with somebody, with a couple of people, and the Bears were playing the Packers. The second one was when the Super Bowl was on. I watched that. I didn't watch all of it. I watched some of it. But I don't watch much TV sport. I have watched 2 Cubs games this year. And I'm not boycotting baseball. And I don't even know if I'm boycotting football. It's just I have other things to do with my time besides watching TV and entertain. You can sit there and watch football, baseball, the other stuff that's just totally entertaining you. That's time missed out on thinking of real things to think about, whether it's with you, your family, the environment, social ills and stuff like that, physically, spiritually. You can take that time and use that instead of you're watching, reality TV, football, baseball, and all that stuff. So for the people who got out this big issue with Jay-Z, are you all still watching football games? To all my beloved Wisconsinites who are Packers fans, You got a problem with what Jay-Z doing? Are you going to watch the Packers this season? Like, what are you doing? And I don't mean that as disrespect, but what are you doing? So if he becomes part owner of the team, and during the halftime shows or whatever, they doing music and showing videos of police brutality and all this other stuff, and addressing, you don't think that for the masses, it's going to bring light to something? And the NFL won't be protesting and saying, you can't do this and you can't do that. It's the same thing with breast cancer awareness, when everybody wears pink. What happens? The people get money donated to do research on cancer. So you think people are not going to donate money to make the NFL, donate money to our community? I said this years ago. And a comedian, who I actually sent this video to, he reiterated, and it's been talked about. But I said this year before anybody said anything. And I said, the NFL players need to quit playing football and tell the NFL that, listen, every year you're going to take 10% of your earnings and donate it to the communities within where we live in, to build our schools, build the recreation centers, food trucks, and this. And I said this years ago. Now, don't you think if the NFL players will hold the owners and to feet to the fire and made them do this, because they would have to do it. Ain't no just, if they quit playing, they're going to play. Replace them with who? The motherfuckers who didn't make the team originally? Don't nobody want to see bullshit professional football, baseball, or anything else. So if you really want to be mad at somebody, be mad at the players who are continue to go out there and play. And then you would say, well, they got to make a living. Well, Jay-Z got to make a living too. And it sounds like to me he's trying to make a living and make change. So can we please just relax a little? And let's see what. Now, if he does nothing with this, and he's just, then we can talk shit about him. But and the bigger question is like, how is what he's doing affecting you personally in any way? It's not. Everybody just wants soundboards to talk shit and make themselves feel all relevant and all this and that shit. And you got motherfuckers who won't go out here and vote and all type of shit, but you got shit to say about this man. So I just want to know what we're doing out here. And I'm going to keep saying, you all need to make a decision. We can black power this shit all the way up if we want to. But if you want to black power this shit, and you want us to have our own shit, money is printed by who? We ain't printing no money in this fucking country. Do you understand that? So whether you like it or not, the only way change comes with sacrifice. Martin Luther King sacrificed his life for change. Colin Kaepernick is a fucking sacrifice. People are afraid to get blood in the game. And I was talking to somebody else the other day, and so us as citizens, you know how we say we got to go to work and make a living? And as far as the government concerned, if we as citizens, as a collective, decided, not even collective, for all the people who believe in equality and all this, if we just decide, okay, we're not going to go to work until the government does what we want them to do. That's not actually how they're supposed to be doing. They are employed by us. But we won't do that. But we'll talk shit about this man who is telling us he's trying to make change. And we haven't even seen what he's going to do yet. But we all calling him a sellout. What has Michael fucking Jordan done? What has he ever said publicly about any fucking thing? And niggas still wearing Jordans every day. And he's the owner of a team. What has Michael Jordan ever done? And soon as some fucking Jordans come out, you don't stop wearing Jordans. You don't stop wearing Jordan apparel. Come on. Have you stopped watching basketball because Michael Jordan is a owner of a team, but he does nothing for black people in our communities? Have you? So I just need you all to relax. Let's see what happens. We hate on each other all the time. This is fucking chess, not checkers.